Hey, my name is Jennifer Bishop and this is Yoda Reads 12. This is my first ever Booktube video and I hope you do enjoy it. I'm going to go into a bit about me and why I decided to start this channel, and then I'll kind of delve into some of the books that are coming up this year that I'm going to read, and also another surprise kind of at the end that I'll talk about. So first thing, I have been reading since I was around 2 years old and honestly haven't slowed down since. I really love books and reading. My favorite genres are science fiction, fantasy. I like thrillers, but they have to be really, really good thrillers. If I can kind of guess what's going to happen halfway through the book, I don't enjoy them. I also really enjoy historical fiction. Typically, I like books more on like World War II and stuff like that, but I do like other ones as well, as long as they're really well written and really interesting. I also like rom-coms. I don't like scenes in them. I will actually doc a review based on if there are scenes in books. And this is kind of also a good time to mention this is going to be more of a family-friendly channel because of that. Also, I want my nephews and my son to be able to watch this and not have to worry about stuff being on there like comments or stuff like that. So next thing is why I decided to start a booktube. First thing is just because I love books. I love book shirts, book trinkets, books, everything. As you can see, I really love books. The second reason is I started a Bookstagram about 3 to 4 months ago. Bookstagram is basically an Instagram specifically about books. Bookstagram. And I have already gotten up to 128 followers, which for me is a really big deal. It might not be for other people, but it is for me. So it really encouraged me and kind of made me want to dive even more into the book community. I also have a few friends who are booktubers already. One of them has been doing it for I think like 2 years now, and one just started this past year, and watching both of them kind of grow through their channels and grow their sense of like community and their friend range, I guess, it's been really cool to watch and kind of encouraged me that one, hey, maybe I can do this too, but also just that it just looks like something that would be fun to try to kind of dive into and pursue. The last reason of why I started a booktube, and this is probably the most important reason, is I have a passion for the underdog authors. The authors that nobody really knows about because they're not blared all over social media. And I actually have a few favorite series and books that are written by authors that nobody's ever heard of. And so I kind of want to highlight them through this channel and give them a voice that they might not necessarily have or can afford, so that way more people can find their stories, because they're really great stories, just nobody knows about them because they've never found them before. In saying that, I will still be reading some of the bigger name books just because they are bigger name for a reason. They're good books. They just won't be my sole focus. On to my TBR. TBR stands for to be read. So it's basically your pile of books or shelf or shelves of books that you still need to read. For January, I'll be focusing on the books on this shelf. These 3 right here, I will actually be drawing out of this jar to read. It's part of a challenge that I'm doing. The bottom 2, I've already read the first excerpts of, and they were really, really good. And so once I had a little bit of extra money, I was like, I'm gonna buy these. As far as the rest of these books, the back stack, I will probably not get to, but I'm an overachiever, and so I had to pick out as many as I could. As far as the ones I do plan to get to, there's a few ebooks and audiobooks on my Scribd account and on my Kindle that I'll be reading. I'll kind of go into those more in a later video, but for right now I'm just going to go through the physical copies that I have. The first one is The Martian by Andy Weir. He wrote Artemis, which is a really, really good book. That was my first book I read by him. I also watched the movie The Martian, and it was amazing, and so I'm super excited to read this book. The next one is Fable by Adrienne Young. I've already read her Sky in the Deep series, and I absolutely loved it, and so I got super excited when I saw she was coming out with a new series, and I'm super stoked to start this one as well. And then the last one I have a physical copy of is the 4th Sailor Moon book, or manga. I absolutely love Sailor Moon and have since I was a little girl, and so finding the manga a few years ago was really cool for me, and then going through and reading it has been really awesome, and so I'm super excited to read this one. And then the last thing I was going to kind of briefly skim over, I have a reading challenge that I created for 2021, and I kind of, when creating it, I set it up where it's 1 book a week. Most people who are big into reading at least do 1 book a week. However, I did set it up to, you don't have to finish all the prompts, of course. I set it up where each week correlates, or each number correlates with the week of the year, and they're set to kind of fit whatever holidays or whatever's going on that month. So I'll have a link below for the full list so you can look at it more in depth. I tried to look into all the different holidays and representation months and everything, and include all of that in here. And I just really wanted to do a reading challenge, and kind of just went with it. So this is my first ever reading challenge. I'm curious to see how it goes. I do really hope that some of you guys will join me on it. I am going to do a giveaway at the end of the year, and I'll kind of go more into detail with that in my next video, which will be more descriptive about the reading challenge. And in fact, if you would like to know more about it, please subscribe and you'll get the notification when I make that video. And I'll kind of go more into the different prompts and some of the books that I'm going to read for it or that other people can read for it, and more into the giveaway details and all that stuff. So please let me know if you have any comments, critiques, please nothing too brutal. And thank you for watching. Bye!